Hey guys, SmashCast here. I'm AG and
PJ.
and thanks for 500 subs. We just are at 519 of recording this, and PJ's gonna say thank you.
So we'd just like to thank all of our viewers for watching our videos, obviously, and subbing. We really appreciate it. So this is what we're gonna do. We're going to make a Q&A. We're going to be live streaming, so leave your comments below on this video. We're going to be live streaming and answering your questions. So yeah, as I said, leave your comments below and we will answer those, and I'll make a announcement video from when we're streaming. So yeah.
And currently this is going to be our episode of who we think is going to be cut or be back in the game for SSB4 from all the rosters from N64, Melee, and Brawl. And we're going to start off here, and this is also going to be Smash Podcast, and we're going to try to make this a weekly thing where we just talk about any topic in the Smash Bros. Community, which doesn't have to be very pressing or relevant at the moment.
Yeah, so also something I would want to add, the roster video, this is obviously an updated version because we made one back in the summer of 2013 when we first started up the channel, so yeah.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to start with the Brawl Roster and who we think we're going to see. So, Mario is already in. We get Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Wario. Wario, that hasn't been announced yet. Do you think he's going to be in?
Yeah, probably. He's been pretty relevant to the Mario series. Well, he's kind of a spin-off, I guess, but he's been pretty relevant to the series, so he's definitely going to be back, I think.
Yeah, and also, we don't have an upcoming game for him, plus his WarioWare game came out already for both the Game Boy Advanced and the WarioWare for the Wii U. I don't remember what it's called, but he's been a Mario spin-off character, and when they tend to add a Mario character, they don't remove him unless he turns out to be some random new kid named Dr. Mario.
Pretty much.
Okay, then Donkey Kong, we have Diddy Kong, we have Link, we have Zelda, we have Sheik, we have Ganondorf is the next we don't have.
So what I'm hoping for Ganondorf, obviously, because Sakurai said there's not going to be clones, but yeah, I hope Ganon actually uses his sword this time and his magic properly. So I think that would be cool, and obviously he's going to be back because he's the main antagonist for the series, pretty much being in almost every single Zelda game. So yeah.
Yeah, and they wouldn't just skip out on a guy who was also like the big bad guy for Subspace and Missionary, so he's obviously going to be back. And it tends to be that every time a character is added and they're from the original game and they're really relevant to the series up to this point, they tend to stay in. So that's why we're going to see him. Then Toon Link, we already have Samus, we have Zero Suit, we have Kirby, we have Meta Knight, not announced yet.
So I think Meta Knight is obviously going to be in the game because the Halberd stage was already shown at the Smash Bros. Direct, so it's pretty obvious. And I'm pretty sure I know when he's going to be announced, probably the date of Kirby's Triple Deluxe when it's released in America. So yeah.
Yeah, so in May we're probably going to see him, and since Sakurai does make the Kirby games and Kid Icarus, any characters that we see from Kid Icarus and Kirby, we're probably not going to see cut since it's his own games, and plus Meta Knight, King Dedede, and Kirby are technically only 3 characters that ever reoccur in the series, and any other characters aren't very important, so they're probably going to tone down Meta Knight's moveset so he'll be less OP and stuff, and plus seeing all the OP characters that are in now, everyone's going to turn out OP except we don't know about Mario. He tends to always suck, and everyone seems to be OP, so it's going to be pretty balanced, and that's pretty cool. Then King Dedede we have, and Olimar we have, so everyone from the top part of the roster seems to be in. Now, these are all the characters that haven't been announced yet, a lot of them now. So here's Fox, we have Falco, we don't.
Yeah, so for Falco, I think he's relevant to the Star Fox series. The Star Fox series hadn't had a game in a long time, and Falco is more relevant than Wolf, obviously, because being a main protagonist. And sorry, I'm sick. Anyway, yeah, he's more relevant than Wolf, and hopefully Falco and Fox can have different final smashes and different moves this time. So yeah.
And since we've seen the same thing with Rosalina and Peach, so we're probably not going to see him be up that much of a clone. And in Brawl, they were kind of more separated, not completely, but they had it was different enough to be not the exact same character. And he's been in 2 games already. He's been Fox has been in since N64 version, so his series has not gone away. And Falco, being that he was in the original games, he's of course going to be in. And any other newcomers for Star Fox, probably not going to happen. I just don't see that happening. And then next we have Wolf.
So Wolf, like I said, he's just another clone. Obviously what you just said about Peach and Rosalina, but anyway, Wolf, like, if he came back, it would be because he's the main, like, antagonist other than Andros. But I just hope they change up the movesets, because these characters have the potential to be really good. So yeah.
Yeah, and I also think that Wolf just doesn't have, like, a big enough shot, and we need, like, more relevant characters to the series. And since Wolf kind of hasn't been in the original game, I don't think he really deserves that spot, and he's going to end up just being too much of a clone. And we need more newcomers, and I don't want to spend up too many of it on clone characters. So next we have Captain Falcon.
So Captain Falcon, obviously, we haven't had an F-Zero game since the GameCube, I'm going to say. So if another F-Zero game came out, it would be amazing. But Captain Falcon was in since the original 12, so I think he's probably going to be announced again. And he's pretty iconic to the series with his Falcon Punch. That's pretty memorable. So what do you think?
And also, the F-Zero games came out for the Game Boy, for the Wii U, and it means that he's not completely forgotten, and he's probably going to be re-released in Smash. And if any person was to be re-released on Smash Bros., it's between him and Mario that can't be skipped, because he is, like, the series staple. Because if there were a custom character that was specifically made for Smash Brothers, it would be Captain Falcon. His Falcon Punch is so symbolic in the Smash community. It's not even used in his own games. It's only used for this Smash Brothers, that it's so iconic. And having Ganondorf getting a new moveset would make Captain Falcon more relevant and a lot cooler. So I really hope he does come back. Then we have Pikachu, which has already been in the game announced, and then Jigglypuff.
So Jigglypuff, here's an argument that I don't really like starting with people. So here's what we personally think. Jigglypuff's not going to be in the next game. Yeah, Jigglypuff was in the original 12 for the N64 version, but she's not really relevant. And even though this doesn't really matter, she got a new type in Pokemon X and Y. She's now a fairy type. So maybe that's relevant, not sure, but Jigglypuff, like, competitively, some people like her, but, like, you don't see things about Jigglypuff, like people saying, I want Jigglypuff back. Like, for example, the fan base of Mewtwo, like, they're saying, I want Mewtwo, and here's the difference, like, Mewtwo has multiple forms because of Mega Evolution, and Jigglypuff is just, it doesn't have any forms. So if Jigglypuff were to get back in, then the reason solely would be because of she was in the original 12, and also she was one of the bottom tiers in Brawl, meaning she wasn't a very good character. So yeah.
Yeah, in Brawl, her tier list tended to be, on average, to be about 35 out of the 38 characters, and that's not really good. It's like next to usually tends to be like the really heavy characters such as Ganondorf. But yeah, Jigglypuff was really just there to be like a filler for Pokemon, because Pokemon was like a really big series, and then they like need to have like quite a few characters for it. But she hasn't had any relevance to the series up to this point, and they've kind of forgotten about her, and she was really big back in the day in the anime, being really recurring in that, but being not high in competitiveness, and there's a lot more better uses for Pokemon that could be announced. For example, like any Pokemon you could announce would have like a more diverse moveset, which Jigglypuff in that case tends to be like Sing and Rollout, which doesn't tend to be the best, and that's why other characters have come out with Mega Evolutions, which makes them more have a better chance. So yeah. Then next we have Pokemon Trainer, which consists of Charizard, who's already announced, Ivysaur and Squirtle, and Ivysaur and Squirtle are already out because Sakurai said in the direct that that's not happening. Then Lucario we have, Ness we haven't had announced yet.
So Ness, he was part of the original 12, and Earthbound was a really big game. So Ness, as I said, he was in the original 12, so he would probably be added back, and he's just been iconic to Nintendo, honestly. Now Lucas, on the other hand, probably not, because he really isn't relevant anymore. So what do you think about Ness?
Yeah, for Ness, I think that he's probably going to come back because they need to have like one character from each IP that they have, and that would like really break a lot of people's hearts if they didn't have Ness in. And I know that Ness was played by a lot of people, wasn't super high in the tiers, but if you knew how to play him, he could technically be quite good. And I have really no problem with Ness, and I think that Ness is a pretty cool character. And then next we have Lucas.
So Lucas, I don't think he's really relevant because of Mother 3 being like a Japanese exclusive game. Well, we just got Earthbound on the Wii U. But anyway, yeah, I don't think Lucas is going to be in. Like, he's just another clone. It's the same thing. They have the same like spells or whatever. I just don't see a different moveset for Lucas. So yeah.
And yeah, for Lucas, speaking of Mother, for Mother's Day, which comes up in May, we could technically see Ness return because that would be the perfect time for him. And then we'd also see Meta Knight because of Kirby Triple Deluxe. So those could be like the two veterans that come back then. And yeah, Lucas, too much of a clone for Ness. Like, even though we've seen like Peach and Rosalina, I don't see them being like too different from each other. And honestly, personally, they both have their differences in looks, and I personally kind of like Lucas. He looks pretty awesome, but then sometimes I also like Ness because he has a pretty boss cap and stuff. And yeah, I just don't see Lucas coming back, and plus, he wasn't really added until Brawl, so I don't think that he's going to be like too relevant because they would have added him already back in like Melee if they thought he was that relevant, so yeah. Then next we have Marth, who's already been announced, and Ike.
So Ike was pretty new to the Fire Emblem series at the time, am I right? Yeah. So basically Ike is basically out because Sakurai is adding characters who are like the original antagonists and protagonists from the series. So that's why Marth is in, and we might see Chrom also. But anyway, yeah, Ike isn't gonna come back, and they were sort of a clone, not really, but yeah, I just wish there was kind of a faster Fire Emblem character like Roy in Melee. Roy was fast, but like Marth and Ike are pretty slow, so I hope that Chrom, if he gets in, Chrom's fast. So what do you think about Ike?
Yeah, for Ike, I think that he's not very relevant, and I don't see that we're going to see a lot of newcomers for the Fire Emblem series because they tend to be too reoccurring that they're always having swords and there's nothing different. And we already have, like, having two sword characters that are actually quite similar is kind of, like, overdoing it. But then I guess if you do add Chrom or Lucina, at this time I'm, like, kind of, I don't know about Lucina, but since Chrom is more relevant, I think Ike is going to be out for reasons of relevance. And then Pit is already announced, and Ice Climbers have not been.
So Ice Climbers, were actually like the first tag team character. in Smash Bros. First introduced to Melee, and they were obviously in Brawl. But yeah, Ice Climbers are pretty relevant. They're kind of retro back in the NES days, and Ice Climbers came out on NES Remix 1, so, or 2, I forget. But yeah, so Ice Climbers were kind of a fun character, so people really like them, so I'm sure Sakurai will add them back. And plus, didn't you say something about you saw a certain thing from Kirby?
There's two things: that the polar bear from their Ice Climber stage is in Smash Run, which kind of means that they're gonna have him back. And Kirby has a special ice ability, and when he showed it in the trailer, I don't remember what part of the trailer it was, but he froze things, and he didn't seem to have a cap on, so it must have been from a character. And since they're probably in development and they don't want to release that it's Ice Climbers, he could have sucked up Ice Climbers, but they didn't completely finish the animation for the hat of Ice Climbers for Kirby. So I really think they're going to come back, and since there's no one really like them, if Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong would be if they were in as a tag team character, which they were originally supposed to be, but I think that Ice Climbers are really cool for that tag team. And then Rob too. That this guy's really controversial.
Yeah, Rob is really controversial. Now, Rob was the troll character for Brawl, and so far that we've seen, we haven't had a troll character removed. So, for example, for the original game, it was Jigglypuff. For Melee, it was Mr. Game & Watch, and for Brawl, it was Rob. Now, for the current game right now, SSB4, we're thinking it's Wii Fit Trainer, but anyway, or Villager. Anyway, so Rob, I don't know. Rob didn't, for me, I don't think he really had that big of a fan base, and I didn't see him using competitive very much, though that doesn't really matter. I just didn't really see it relevant. Help me out here, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Rob has lost any relevance. He was back in the day, pretty big, I guess, with Nintendo, you could say. With the NES and stuff.
Yeah, on the NES.
But nowadays, he doesn't. He's a pretty diverse character. He doesn't have a clone moveset, and wasn't terribly bad in the tiers. But I still have to say that he wasn't really anything that we wanted. And I think that we could have a lot of better characters show up, such as Mewtwo. That would be better. That could be a better veteran. And then next we have Game & Watch, who hasn't been announced either.
Yeah, so Mr. Game & Watch I was just talking about him. He was announced in Melee and as the troll character. Mr. Game & Watch is really relevant to Nintendo, in my opinion. And he's actually a really cool character. I used him a lot in Brawl. And it would be really cool if he came back, which I do think he is going to come back. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's going to come back, and since he's technically already confirmed, because when I was watching the Direct, I saw that the Color TV was announced there as an assist trophy, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And that was Pong they were playing, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Color TV was actually a Nintendo system back in the day, which I found out 6 months ago because I was bored and just checked Wikipedia. And Mr. Game & Watch was actually one of the first characters that Nintendo ever made. So he's the relevant character for for Nintendo in general, and I think he's going to come back. And there's no one really with a moveset like him. He was not that bad in the tiers. He was 16th on the tiers, and he did pretty good, and I think that he's a really nice character. And then next we have Snake.
So Snake, to be honest, he should be in PlayStation All Stars. Yeah, something like that. And the sole reason he was in was because Hideo Kojima and Sakurai were apparently friends. So he wanted Snake in Smash, so what happened? Yeah, I think he made a tweet. Hideo Kojima, he made a tweet back a while ago saying if Snake was to be in Smash Bros, I would make a game for a Nintendo system, something like that. And we do have a Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D that came out a while ago, but you never know. But I really don't think Snake will be back, and I don't want Snake. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Snake has like a 0% chance at this point to get in because he is too much of a character that relies on guns, and everything has been removed about guns. This game, like the Steel Diver, has made to look like one of those disc guns that you could find at like a Toys R Us or something, and the closest gun would be the pistol, but I guess they couldn't really change that. And him relying on too much like artillery and stuff, I think it just doesn't suit with the playful style, and they're trying to stay away from that. And since that there hasn't been a game for there hasn't been a MGS game on a Nintendo system recently, and even though Kojima wanted his Snake to be in Smash Brothers, if you don't release it a game for a Nintendo system, you're not going to be in because like not all Nintendo people will know who you are, and the point of Smash Brothers is to play as your favorite Nintendo characters, and if they're not relevant on the systems, then no one will really know, and then they won't really care. And then next we have Sonic, who's already been announced, and then our last veteran of the day is Mewtwo. Now, what do you think about Mewtwo?
So for Mewtwo, I think Mewtwo's gonna be in. This is why, basically, Lucario and Mewtwo are not going to be clones, and basically, Mewtwo has 2 Mega Evolutions in Pokemon X and Y, and it's pretty relevant. It has been in a recent movie, Mewtwo and the Legend Genesect Awakened or something, I forget the exact name, but, yeah, a lot of people want Mewtwo in. So yeah, and he was also in the Forbidden 7, as you guys should know, and was almost completed in Brawl. So yeah.
And yeah, being like a super popular character, and Sakurai says that all the rules are that they have to be big in the community, they have to have a movie or be in the anime or something, and then they just have to be like have a really good move set that would really work for the Smash Brothers series. And yeah, I think Mewtwo has like a giant fan base, and since Lucario, I guess, has been changing up a tiny bit, and since he does have a Mega Evolution, it makes him more relevant in the series now, and anything that makes him more popular again will give him a really big chance to come back. So yeah, guys, thanks for 500 subscribers, and this is SmashCast signing out. Peace.
Peace.